What is going on, Jet fans? And welcome back to another episode of the Jets Ward. I am your host, Ryan Ward, and I'm so excited to be back with you guys. I got a really fun one, some big wide receiver news in the league today. Oh, man, as a Jets fan, you got to be excited about it. I got one about the Jets, and then I got a question that I'm going to pose to some Jet fans and other NFL people as well to see what they would do. But first, if you have been here before, welcome back. You know I love having you guys here in the Jets Ward. You make this channel so much fun, and I love having you here. If you are new here, welcome. Whether you're a Jets fan or a fan of another team or just a casual NFL fan, you are always welcome here in the Jets Ward. I'm so excited to have you here with me. But guys, I'm just so excited, fired up today because it finally happened. The New York Jets have re-signed Garrett Wilson, wide receiver of the New York Jets, who has had over 1,000 yards receiving ever since he's come into the league 3 years ago. And man, this is exciting because Garrett Wilson, I feel, is like one of the most underappreciated wide receivers by a lot of NFL analysts because he's got such good talent. Great route runner, great hands, leader on the team, very vocal when it comes to like wanting to be a winner. And he's a leader in that locker room, a young piece of this core of the New York Jets team. And we got him. We re-signed him. Darren Muji and Aaron Glenn have stayed true to what they said in the beginning in their opening press conference about wanting to keep their young, good players, and they're doing it. Garrett Wilson has been signed to a 4-year, $130 million contract, $90 million guaranteed, which is roughly going to be about $31 million a year average annually. This guy deserves it. In my opinion, he's a top 5, top 6 wide receiver in this league. He's just so freaking good and getting better. And he's pulled off these 1,000-yard receiving years with some awful quarterback play. Remember, he had Garrett Wilson, Joe Flacco, Mike White. He had who else? There's some Strevler as a quarterback. He had Trevor Siemian. He had Aaron Rodgers last year, but still that wasn't great because then you bring in Devontae Adams and he force feeds the ball him, and Wilson and Rodgers didn't really have the best relationship, it seemed like, off the field. So for the Jets to re-sign Garrett Wilson and bring him into a 4-year deal, I had a feeling they were going to go 4-year deal with him, 4 to 5-year deal. A lot of people said 3. Wide receivers typically get the longer contracts because they're such a massive part of an offense. And Garrett Wilson is a young stud wide receiver, bona fide number 1 receiver, makes defenses struggle. Look what he did to Jalen Ramsey last year, who's looked at as still being a very good cornerback in this league. He makes cornerbacks look silly. And honestly, I'm just so happy as a Jet fan. Sauce Gardner's definitely going to be next. I'm happy they're getting this deal done before training camp as well. It shows that they want them to be here. Now get Mason Taylor's contract signed. There's so many second-round players still unsigned. Only 2 that are signed. And Mason Taylor's not one of them. They got to get him in. He's going to be a big core piece to this offense this year, in my opinion. Young tight end who's going to be a stud as well. But Garrett Wilson has signed an extension with the Jets. Let's go! Jets, Jets! I'm so fired up. And this leads me into the next part of the video. The Jets wide receiver room. We have our number 1 receiver. We have him locked down. Garrett Wilson is our number 1 receiver. But after that, it sort of goes downhill. We got Josh Reynolds, who's looking like he's going to be the number 2 receiver, who is solid, but he deals with injuries and has dealt with drops. We have Alan Lazard, who deals with injuries and has dealt with really bad drops and penalties last year. You got Tyler Johnson, who I think could be very good, but unproven. You have drafted Arian Smith, who has blazing speed but suffered from drops. If he can pull it all together, he can be a very good weapon for the Jets. We have Jamal Pritchett, undrafted free agent. Quentin Skinner, undrafted free agent. Malachi Corley. You don't know what you're going to do with him, but if things go right with him, he could be a weapon. Xavier Gibson's still on the team. You have all these receivers, but none of them, in my opinion, are like a lockdown number 2 receiver. Well, big news out of San Francisco today is that wide receiver Jennings is not happy with his contract. He wants a contract extension. He's informed the team he wants a contract extension, or he wants to be traded. Now, this is a big deal because the Niners just traded Deebo Samuel to the Commanders. That was one receiver down. They drafted Ricky Pearsall. He ended up getting shot and came back last year and was solid, but he's not ready to take that next step as a number one receiver. Brandon Ayuk, you still have him under contract, but there was rumors about him possibly getting traded, and he doesn't seem happy in San Francisco. And now you got Juwan Jennings, who is looked at as being their number one receiver. And a couple weekends ago, I did my live stream of number one receivers. I had Juwan Jennings as their number one wide receiver. Problem, I don't see him as a high-end number one. I see him as a lower end to very, very high-end number two receiver, a very great complement piece. If the Jets trade for Juwan Jennings, should the Jets trade for Juwan Jennings? In my opinion, depends on the cost, but I would, because he could be a legitimate threat in this type of offense. He's a decent blocker, great hands, possession receiver, everything that could complement Garrett Wilson very, very well. And then you have Aaron Smith in the slot, or if Malachi Corley takes another step, or Josh Reynolds is a bigger slot. There's things you could do. And you have Mason Taylor, you sign him, have him as your tight end, who's going to be a matchup nightmare as well. This offense can flourish. And Juwan Jennings, he's not a behavioral issue. He's a very good leader of men on that team and somebody that the Niners really, really like. But if they don't get a contract with him, he could force his way out of there. And the Jets could be a team that could really, really benefit from having a wide receiver like Juwan Jennings. And he might be ready to take that next step. Maybe he might prove me wrong and be a number one receiver. But imagine having two number ones on your team. That would be awesome, especially for an offense that's been stagnant for many, many years. So should the Jets go after Juwan Jennings? I think it would be a great move by them, but it really depends on how much it costs as well. But again, guys, that's a lot of big news coming around. Again, Jets re-signed Garrett Wilson. Let's go. I'm so pumped up about that. But Juwan Jennings is big news too. Could he be on the move in the future? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Are you happy with the Jets re-signing Garrett Wilson? What do you think of the deal we gave him? And Juwan Jennings, do you think the Jets should go after him? Let me know down in the comments. And thank you guys so much for joining me in the Jets. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.